Y'all know what time it is, man. We on another episode of Trill Talk No Cap.
What's good, homie?
What's good, fam? How you living? Hey, what's up, Miss Chinese Nikki? I'm trying to give the San Antonians a bigger idea of what we're talking about and how legendary this shit is. Yo, what's good, man? Y'all already know what it is. You dig what I'm saying? I'm the one and only impeccable Highstrung, man. This is another great episode of Trill Talk No Cap, where the only capping that we do is the ones we wear on our heads, and all we do is talk Trill. Now, today is a very special day. It's the last episode of Season 3 for Trill Talk No Cap. And also, today, we have probably one of the most soulful, I'm going to say R&B, but I don't want to leave her in R&B because she has such a great range. I would say JC Tranquility is here to join us today. It's going down.
What up, everybody? Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor. Honestly, we're about to talk some real Trill business, so we're glad that y'all are here. If y'all are tuned in live, shout out to y'all being here. Shout out to all my people being here, and we're about to get into it.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for taking time out to come to Trill Talk and chop it up with us. You know, you've always been like family for us, man. For those that don't know, you know what I'm saying, JC was actually on season 1 before we even started doing like face-to-face interviews, and we was just doing screen-to-screen, so it's dope to have her back on, you know what I'm saying? And her growth from 2020 to 2024 right now, going into 2025, has been amazing, you know what I'm saying? Her music has always been amazing. Her poetry is crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's super dope. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, let's start off by saying, you know what I'm saying, where you're originally from?
I'm from Colorado Springs. That's where I'm originally from. But I moved here when I was 9, so I was raised in San Antonio. So this is home for sure.
That's what's up. That's crazy because I lived in Colorado Springs. I was 5.
What part? Oh, in Springs?
In Springs, yeah. My pops was military.
I got in the base. That's why my family was military too.
That's dope. You know what I'm saying? I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? When you first moved out here, you moved out here when you was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So at that time, you like 4th grade. You pretty aware. You know what I mean?
So I was in 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade. That
okay.
was about 6th grade, and it was middle school. So like, especially just finally getting to middle school outside like of elementary, and mind you, everybody like everywhere is different. So we have our own little lingo in Colorado to hear. Coming to Texas was completely different. Like I'll never forget. I remember one time like I was in school and this girl approached me and she was like, "Yo, why you dogging me?" And where I'm from, like, if you staring at somebody, you're mugging them. Like, why are you mugging me? Yeah. When you say dogging, it kind of sounds like very, like, that's out of pocket. You know, so I'm like, how I just moved here, I don't know you, I ain't dogging you.
Yeah.
And so, like, things like the instances like that where it was, like, I really had to, like, recalibrate, like, my surroundings and really learn what was around me. I think that was the hardest thing about transitioning.
Yeah. Did you play sports in school?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you play?
Basketball and track.
I was gonna say basketball.
Basketball for sure. I grew up always balling up. My dad was he was always in leagues and stuff. Yeah. So we'd go to his games and. Because
I seen recently you was just in the basketball game, the tournament that they had.
Yeah, we took championship.
Yeah, I see that. You was doing your thing too. You was doing your thing.
Won a little bag or whatever.
She could hoop too. I give her that.
It's crazy because basketball was my first love. Like before music, like I fell in love with. I had a passion for basketball. It was just like an outlet. Like growing up, I don't know if you're familiar. I went to Southwest High School.
Okay.
So going to Southwest High School, like it's in the country.
Yeah.
And during the summer times, we would always just go to the rec center right there at Miller's Pond, and we would just ball up. Like, so it was. Basketball was my first love.
Right. Now that's dope. I seen that. I said she be hooping, and she be out there. She don't be like out there just looking pretty. She be out there chasing the ball. She get active.
So pull up and bring your ankles.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's dope. So let's talk about the transition into music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I remember one thing I could say about you, your hustle, your networking abilities have always been super dope. I've seen you. I remember before really knowing you did music, I would see you everywhere. I would just see you, and I'm like, damn, she's super observant. She everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody's doing something, every time a show's out, she's networking. You know what I mean? And I remember you used to do like live poetry, like you would spit these poems, and it was dope. You know what I'm saying? You really put a lot of energy into them. You made people feel you within the crowd of your poetry, and that's what I knew you as starting off. I'm like, okay, she's a poet. Right. You know what I mean? And you don't really see a lot of people come out or be that confident in coming out trying to
you know, just do poetry like that.
Right.
And studying their craft with the spoken word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I seen that you was really good at that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, poetry is my bag for sure. Like music, it transgressed from poetry to music. Like the more that I started doing my poetry, people were like, hey, look, JC, I need you on a feature. Like, I know you can write this beat. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I started doing music, but just as far as like how you're saying, like local community is everything. Like before I started even performing as an artist, I opened up my own cafe. Yeah. So selling boba and having my own business at 19, like that was the cream of the crop. Like I had to learn how to move.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. That's dope.
A lot of it was because I was throwing shows and stuff, so I would have to go and find artists and recruit them to come perform at my show. You know, I only wanted the dopest in the building. Like I was very strategic in that sort. Like I was telling you off camera, like I'm not really the type to run before I learn how to walk. Like
Right.
So I can't sit here and give you a recommendation like, oh, look, go to this spot or do this if I haven't been there, if I haven't seen. So most of the time, yeah, you'll see me out, but I kind of be ducked off, just kind of being a part of the moment.
Right. Now, I love that, and I could tell by just how you move that you take what you do, your craft, so seriously. You know what I'm saying? One thing I think I loved about you is that everybody that you ever collabed with, it made sense.
Right.
You know, some people just collab because that's my friend, or they collab but the collab don't make no sense. I tell people all the time, I got friends that I've been having for 10 years, I never collabed with them. It's not because I don't want to, or it's not because it just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? For the records that wherever they feeling in their music, it may not match my tempo or match what I got going. So the collab got to make sense, because when you making music for people, it's got to reach the people. And every song that you've come out with or done, it's made sense, whether it was by yourself or with somebody else.
And that's a gem. Like, that's a gem. Like, especially to other artists, like, don't force it, like, at all. Like, I have a lot of people who hit me for features, and it's cool and all, but it has to make sense. And, like, my music is so precious to me. Like, what I put out, I'm so, like, I don't vial about how I want my audience to be able to captivate what it is that I'm speaking about. Right. So when I'm working with other artists, if it feels right, I know it's gonna hit. And every collab has been that. Like it wasn't, we didn't like set no dates, no nothing. It was like, let's work, boom, boom, boom. And that's how I knew it was always gonna be a good hit.
Yeah, no doubt. And I love that, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, a big thing, a part of it too, is just bringing the energy. Right. And the energy that you bring around other artists and make them want to better their craft as well. Right. You know what I'm saying? I remember y'all did the what was the show? It was like an inside, but it was an outside venue. I think at the time, like Loud Society was doing it. It was a while back.
At Burn House?
It was outside, but I can't remember where it was.
Oh, Ventura. Okay, Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ventura.
Lot of dope shows.
Man, that was definitely like. That was a dime for sure, but they ended up closing down. But a lot of local shows, I met so many people there too, from like even Diversity. Yeah. Like I met Diversity there for the first time.
Kevin McGee.
Yeah, like that's where it was really popping off. But I think that there's a lot of gems in San Antonio. I personally have always found places to be and where to go, because you just have to look for it. Like, if you're just finding the wave, like, you have to be afraid. Like, you can't be afraid of being able to be in a new room around people you don't know, or how the environment, like, for me, it's what's in you. You know what I mean? So wherever I go, it's gonna be top tier. You know what I mean? Like, because we possess that. Like, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are scared to do. Like, that's why we ride waves. That's why whenever, like, things get congested, and I feel like that's what kind of outshines the gems in San Antonio, is because of that, that perception of it. But now I know some dope people, like for real, like even just in the building right now, like I know dope people who are here, you know what I mean, who are artists and like really hustle. Because for me, if you just out, you know what I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I love enjoying myself, I love having fun, but I feel like there has to be like a vision behind it. So you know what I mean, like I'm working towards something. I need people around me to be working towards something.
Nah, that's dope. And like I say, man, I remember just seeing your name continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember just like seeing you everywhere, but then hearing the name. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could feel your presence coming as an artist. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, I think the last album that I dropped, you know what I'm saying? I remember just seeing every show we was doing, everything I was like, yo, JC is coming, bro. You know what I'm saying? I remember saying that to some niggas, like,
and I mean, it's hard.
Y'all rappers, y'all may not have to worry, but bro, it's a thing though, because you have your own style. Right. You can't really compare you to nobody, especially here that's doing that sounds like you are doing the same thing that you're doing.
Right.
And I think that's already a win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you have any projects out right now? Like, have you ever dropped a project?
Yeah, so my debut project was 4 tracks. It was my EP. It was called No Love Lost, man. And that's where I really tried to project, like, more of, like, you know, kind of the certain things like this, domestic violence. I'm talking about, like, co-parenting as a parent. Like, I kind of dug a little deeper, you know what I mean? But then I have singles in between there, of course, with other features and stuff. That's more fun, more of a vibe. But I do have a single dropping out before the end of the year called Shoulda Stayed. I
love that record. That's my favorite one right now. That record hard.
There's a lot of people who know I haven't even dropped it yet. You know what I mean? At Paper Tiger, when I performed it, the whole crowd was singing that song. Like, you know what I mean? And I haven't even dropped it, so it was a vibe. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. But next year I'm gonna drop another project, and I think that I really want to show people a different bag. Like, of course, poetry is where I started, and then now, like, a lot of features R&B. But I definitely got something different for y'all.
Nah, yeah, that's dope. I can see it too, cause I remember, man, like when you did a release party.
Yeah.
For your debut album, and that shit was crazy. I remember just seeing the footage.
Right.
And the footage was crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you hopped on that stage.
The whole city popped out.
Yeah, that shit was hard. That shit was hard, man. That was dope. But I see that you said you got another project getting ready to drop. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is like where was your headspace while working on that project? I know was you talking something about some of the same things? A lot of you is an open book too. I remember when the first time we had you on Screen to Screen, your son was in the camera, like, and like, so it's dope because you're an open book. You allow your fans and the supporters and the people that may not know about you, that's getting hip to you, you allow them to see your life.
Yeah,
and
it's
see
not
what you're
no
going
facade, for sure. Like, it's crazy because, like how you saying, like, I'm out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to find dope people, trying to network, but I balance that. And I'm a mother first, and that's what everybody knows around me. So I really have to, like, cushion in space in between my time as a mother, because that's what life calls me for. You know what I mean? So I feel like generally, like, whenever I dropped, like, for No Love Lost, it was a huge up for me because as an artist and being able just to create, like, I feel like we have to be strategic with how because when you give people too much of you, it's like you oversaturate, and it's a real thing in this industry. And then there's the opposite equilibrium where it's like you don't give them enough, and I feel like that's what a lot of people wanted from me.
They wanted more.
You know, they wanted more, they wanted more, but life and reality couldn't really call for it at the time. You know what I mean? So I did things in between by throwing shows, popping out to other people's stuff, showing love. Like, you can't just, it's your intention and your intent. So I think moving forward, and like with this next project that I'm about to drop, is very, like I said, my craft in general is precious to me. But I'm opening up a little bit more. I feel like I've showed people a certain value to me, but I'm excited. Like, it's just different, you know, and that's just what it comes with leveling. Like, life will teach you lessons, and if you don't learn them, then you're not going to make it to the next day knowing how to do better. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
And that's facts.
So I want to talk about this too, because it goes back to what I was saying about how things make sense. Because actually, for those that don't know, me and JC actually was trying to get in the studio for a lot of times. But whenever I was busy, she wasn't busy. Whenever she was busy, I wasn't busy. So it was like crazy because it's just we always talk about this record, right? We always, and I enjoy talking about this future record that will one day come out. I don't know when, but it will one day.
It's coming.
It will surface. We can't tell you when, but it will. But I want to talk to you about being a female in this industry. You know, one thing I like is that I think a lot of young girls that come behind you, it's a great for them to see you because you carry yourself with such elegance. You have a sexy vibe to you, but you also, you know what I'm saying, you're very welcoming to people. You know what I'm saying? And that's not something that you get from typically from every artist nowadays, whether they rappers or singers. You know what I'm saying? So tell us a little bit about, you know, how it is being being a female in this industry. You know, I feel like that it's no longer so much male dominated because females run the game
Taking
right
over
now.
right now,
Let's
for
be honest.
sure.
Like we got SZA, we got
Lotto.
Like females really run the rap and R&B game right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a few dudes out there putting it down, but right now,
Females
in
got
this
the bag.
moment in time, it's being run by females.
Most
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying?
And it was and I love that right now for us as females, you know what I mean? But I think for me, just personally, I think that it comes from background. I grew up with brothers, you know what I mean? I have an older brother and a younger brother. So like before I was in my girly phase or learned how to be sexy or cute, I was rocking my brother's t-shirts, you know what I mean? Playing in the yard with them. So like, I feel like that helps me in this industry because I grew up with men, you know what I mean? And boys at that. So it is difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I feel like, I think that we live in such a seductive era, you know what I mean? Like, sexy sells. It's always sold. But I think that there's more to it as females than that, you know what I mean? Just the nurturing. Like, if you dig into my poetry and you really want to understand how I feel in that sense, there's places where you can go and hear that from me. You know what I mean?
Right,
but to
right.
keep it short, it is difficult. You know what I mean? I've been in certain instances where I've been in the studio with somebody and they've stepped a boundary and it wasn't going down like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, those are the things that people don't talk about because we got to keep it going. You know what I mean? And it's so normal. Like, look at all this crazy stuff that's happening in the mainstream industry right now.
Right,
you
right.
know? But I feel like that's why I just stay calculated. Everything that I do has to be calculated. I make sure that I move a certain way, make sure I have my people around me, and safety is everything, especially as a female. Just in general, for all my females out there, if you don't have protection, I'm making sure that you can take care of yourself if somebody ever does try you. Like, we in Texas here, so I'm good where I go around here.
Yeah. No doubt. And I love that, man, is because I see, I see the elegance. I see how you move. You know what I'm saying? It works out big time for you. I think that's what sets you apart. One thing I love about you is you know how to be on the scene, but know how to stay out the way. With the in the city that we live in, if we just being honest, this is Trill talk, especially with San Antonio. It's so easy. It's so easy. And it don't even have to be your fault, but it's so easy to get caught in the drama, the bullshit,
Right.
the rumors, the lies. It's so easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we don't do messy. Like, one thing
But-
about me, like, I hear you, like, and I don't mean to cut you off. I really don't, because I felt your train of thought. But, like, just to really touch on that part, I stay out the way because I don't have time to play. Like, being a mother, like, this is not, I don't come out here just for fun and games. Like, I have so much to work for. And the people who are around me are people who I want to come with me. So if I'm already working double time to make me and my son's dreams a reality, how much harder does it have to come when I have a responsibility of a community behind me?
Right,
And that's
right.
how I've always stepped. So it's like, one thing can start with me, and people do not play by me. Like, where I come from, you know what I mean? People don't play by me. So you've seen the trifecta of torment whenever that type of play comes to part. Like, street play is something crazy, it's critical, and I used to wonder why I understood it, but I thank God that now I'm in a space to where I could delegate. You know what I mean? I could delegate the drama, the nonsense, what's going on, and I feel like people like us who have that, that's why I respect you, because as an artist, but as a human being, you've always collected yourself to make sure that people knew what you stood for.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, you don't stand for anything, you will fall for anything. You stand
Absolutely.
for something,
Absolutely.
you won't fall for anything. And like, I love that. I pull off of that. I'm surrounded by people who I'm inspired by. Like, if you're not working next to somebody who is better than you, you're never gonna have any vision outside of yourself. I have to see how big somebody else's dreams are, because it's like, whoa, like, it pushes you outside your frame, and that's what we're here for, you know? We stronger together at the end of the day. We stronger together, for sure. So with the drama, with all the nonsense, just stay out the way. Don't feed into it. Fire only breeds fire. So for me, I'm a move with peace. And
Yeah.
it's the hardest thing to do, believe me. But I'm going to choose it every time.
You know, I said this off camera, but I'm going to say it on camera. I'm super extremely proud of this woman right here, man. You know what I'm saying? I won't go too much into it, because then I'll be up here talking for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to say I'm super proud of her, just the growth as an artist, bro. You know, as artists, we all have that thing that we want to achieve. I feel like that when in San Antonio you have, and it's just the thing, like when you think of actors, right? We all know a million actors, but I just thought about this the other day. We see actors on TV, but we don't know their names. Right. But I like him in movies, but I don't know his name. You know what I'm saying? But you know the Denzels, you know the Michael B. Jordans, you know these. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that in San Antonio, you have the JC Tranquilities, you have the Highstrungs, you have the people that continue to inspire those that might be coming into the music, or those that are already here that maybe lost that little bit of fire and now are gaining it back because they see. When I see you performing, you know what I'm saying, in those moments where I say, I don't feel like dropping another project this year. I don't feel like, but then you hear a JC Tranquility song, and then you say, okay, nigga, I'm gonna get back in the studio because I wanna create some more music. That's the type of artist that I feel that you've become. Is like it's inspiring. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What's that thing for you? For me, it's a Grammy. I always said that if I win a Grammy, anything that I do after music, after that, I could literally retire the day I win a Grammy. Right. Like anything after that, it would just be having fun with it at that point. It's still fun now, but I'm going for something.
He going for
after that Grammy. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a Grammy when you walk into my house, just to have a drink, it don't matter. That wasn't handed to me, and I just didn't. I didn't steal it. It was awarded to me. Yeah. What's that thing for JC that says? For validation, not for anybody else, but for yourself.
For myself. Yeah, man, I wish I could singly like put my finger on it, but honestly, like this, I have so many goals in that sense when it comes to like, different, just perspectives I'm hitting in music, but everything that I'm doing right now is for a different lifestyle. You know what I mean? That's my goal. Like once I could feel comfortable in a lifestyle, like I didn't grow up feeling comfortable. You know what I mean? I grew up in very circumstances where it was like, I'm better than this. What's around me is not okay. Yeah. Let's just say that. Like what's right here is not okay. So when I get to that point where I could actually kick back and be like, ooh, I'm comfortable. Like this is okay. I feel like that's the main thing for me. You won't see me chill until then, But as far as like, my son thinks he got his dream car is a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like,
that's mine too. That's mine too.
He in a whole nother bracket than I am. He lives in a whole nother bracket talking about, Mommy, I want a Lambo for Christmas. All blacked out. That's what he wants. So obviously I have.
He finna get out here and flex.
He thinks, nah, that's my job to humble him. You know what I mean? Y'all men could like to flex a little bit. You got a good woman in your corner. You might tone it out a little bit.
just tell him to let me park next to him. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying?
We park next to you outside. I seen the whip. I said, oh, fly zone, here we go.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I love that. I love that you implement your son in everything you do. You know what I'm saying? And again, once again, just being an open book, you know what I'm saying, is important for the fans and the supporters that you have, and you've already mastered that. Most people have to learn that, you know what I'm saying, but it seems like that's something that you wanted to do from the jump, was connect,
community.
What would you say some of your biggest challenges of, of the growth that you made, the artist that you've stepped into, the artistry that you stepped into now, what's been some of the biggest challenges for you?
So in general, just because like I said earlier, before artistry came into my path, it was running my shop. So being a business owner in San Antonio, it was the local bit. That's why I shop local, I eat local, I make sure to support my local people. Like I'm big on that because I walked through that. And that was the hardest thing that I had ever done. You know what I mean? When it came to stress, you feel it on every aspect, especially my son was a newborn son. You know what I mean? He had just been born. So it was like there was no time to waste. It fueled me, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's nobody more motivated than a newborn mom. You know what I mean? So that was one of the hardest things, but it brought music into my life. Like from throwing those shows, I would have Freestyle Fridays every Friday. I'd have local showcases. And during that time, the people who I was meeting, it influenced me to get behind the mic. So throwing myself to where I didn't really, know how to do that. I was never really social like that. What's crazy is like my mama, the first time she ever saw me perform live, like I remember afterwards she called me. She was like, Jade, like I could have never pictured you to be a social butterfly. Like you're talking to everybody, you're doing this, you're on stage. No, I was shy, like I couldn't do it, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things that I knew I was missing out. Being that person and sticking to myself, I knew I wasn't winning in being that person. So learning how to talk in a social matter, getting behind that mic, it built so much character for me. And that's what you hear in my music. It's energy. Like, I'll never, this isn't a perception to my life. This is my life. What I'm doing is what I'm doing. There's no facade. There's no happy moment that didn't come from distress. You know what I mean? Like, I built for this. Like, I literally work for everything that I have. And, you know, I have people who, like you, like, you could proclaim a testimony to, like, what you see me do. And I'm real humble about that. I'm never somebody who you'll see me flaunting in front of your face, like, oh, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm this. Now, I'm not loud with it. You just gonna have to watch me and learn something.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna be the first to talk about it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I like that. You put a lot of action. A lot of stuff you talk about is already an action that's took place.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people talk about the things they want to do, but it's all talk, and it's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they don't have the capabilities to do it, they just haven't done it yet. But a lot of times when you talk, it's stuff that's already came in fruition.
Right.
You know, who are some of the biggest collabs that you would like to collab with locally and, you know, in the industry? Me personally, if I'm going to pick one locally, because I talk to her about you all the time, my sister Eliza 1K.
Ooh.
Y'all doing a record together. I'm gonna just put that out there. I'm putting that energy out there. It has nothing to do with nothing. I just thought I knew that at some point on this podcast I was gonna say that shit. But I think she's dope. I think you're dope. I think that would be a crazy record. When I think of records with you, I think of records that will last 5, 10, 20, 100 years from now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Real music lives on for sure.
So,
no. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Eliza, it's crazy because Eliza and 1K and I actually go back. We went to the same high school. So she's a great artist and she's dope and she could rap. That girl could rap her ass off for sure. So that would be a dope collab. Eliza, I'm always ready for that. Yeah. But I think on a mainstream level, who I definitely want to work with is like artists like Coi Leray, you know what I mean? Like Janae Aiko, like Lotto definitely out there. Like, and I feel like that's what it is with energy. Like, I love collaborating and doing features. Like I said, before I started making my own music, I was doing features, and it gives you that open space. You know what I mean? To where it's kind of like you kind of like vibe with them on what they're creating. So, and then locally, Highstrung, we gotta get it in, bro. Like, we definitely been talking about it for a long time now. It's been a long time coming. Yeah. Like I said, I don't ever force nothing, but we gotta make that happen.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna make it happen. It's gonna be something legendary too. I already know. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say, you probably one of them artists that I'm so anxious, but also I'm thinking of every bar that I haven't used yet to really bring out that song. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a different type of energy. You know what I'm saying? We naturally have been friends for years. So, you know what I'm saying? So just knowing the record that we could create would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, your growth is impeccable. Like, I haven't seen growth at that level or magnitude, bro. Like, and I think that you bringing back, or for the first time, bringing that real R&B to the culture of San Antonio. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think hard of who I would know that's really bringing the R&B, but right now, you know what I'm saying, the conversation is JC Tranquility.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's coming up in the conversation of R&B and Poetry Lane. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's dope, and I think you know what I'm saying, you already know this, but just don't be afraid to stay in your lane because there's no traffic in your lane. Right. You know what I'm saying? You in your own lane. I think that's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely looking forward to this project. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this project's
that single is crazy. I cannot wait for y'all. When does it drop?
So I'm debating within two different things. I kind of have my cover art is being worked on by my man Bama. He's in Fort Worth, Texas, and like, we just perfectionists, you know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those things when it's like, when is it going to drop? But definitely by the end of the year. So make sure that whenever I start, posting that, y'all share some love. Like, love comes in so many different forms. And honestly, that's what's gotten me to my point where I'm at. Like, I push love everywhere I go. Like, I make sure that there's never any animosity between people. Like, and a lot of people wait to get love to show love. You know what I mean? And I understand that. Like, when it comes to respect, don't let nobody play about you. But finding genuine love within yourself and learning how to interpret that into others and just, like, literally feeding into that. You know what I mean? I tell people, Yo, Highstrung, you get to another level in life when you don't need nothing from nobody. I can't come to you and put $4 million on the table and expect you to run it and gun it. Because if $4 million are on the table in front of me, I'm going to tell you, hold on, I'm going to make it $8 million. So what does this come through? You know what I mean? Like, what else does this entail?
Yeah.
So once you get to that point, like, if I come around you, like, you know personally, I'm never going to do anything to hurt you.
Right.
That opens you up. That's what human response is.
Right.
Now we can't trust each other. I'm not finna let nobody come down and deliver milk at my front door. They talk about that. You
I
know
love that
I mean?
analogy.
Like,
Yeah.
Finna, I'm not drinking no milk that's left on my front door.
Yeah.
That's just the difference.
Hell yeah. I like that. I love that analogy too. That's crazy.
Right.
So let's talk about this. Are you on? I know you got your team. You know what I'm saying. Shout out to your team. Shout out to everybody holding it down. You know what I'm saying. Big shout out to y'all. Are you with anybody? Are you looking to one day maybe have a deal, or are you kind of like I'm loving the independent vibe, and if the right deal comes, because I always say, having a deal offer before, I always was like, if it ain't the right deal, because right now we live in a world where you don't really need a deal.
Right.
Most people that sign a deal, they not really advancing. You know what I'm saying? And the money, most of the money they've been fronted is having to give it back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like you minimize yourself when you take somebody else's deal in black and white. Like if I can't be the person to write out what's in black and white, I'm probably not going to take the deal. Being an independent artist, and I was just talking to Louie and Janetta about that when we were at my house getting ready. It was like, yo, like I'd rather do everything that I can for myself. You know what I mean? Just because I don't want no restrictions. I don't want no... there's leeways to everything. You hear Megan Thee Stallion, you know what I mean? You the biggest people in the game have gotten the things turned out on them, and like I just don't want to be that person. So, but it would be more than just a deal if you ask me. So like what I would really want would be the right person to approach me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like everything is in black and white, everything is gray. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it comes to people, I feel like genuinity falls different. So if the right person came to me with the right price and allow me to write what's in black and white, maybe we might take what's at the table.
Yeah. I gotta say that though, anything that you would sign, they definitely have to let you have 100% of creative control.
Right, exactly. And
because that's where your artistry is.
If it's your craft, you should be in control. I don't knock anybody who does. I commend people if you get a deal. It's a major thing, especially for us because it's not cheap. You gotta pay to play in this game. Like people think that that studio in your living room only gonna take you so far, and the more that you have to invest in yourself, I get it. Money does enable what you can do with it, but for me, morale's are more.
Yeah. Nah, for real. And we talked about that earlier. Is that having a passion and a love for what you do, will always bring you that wealth or bring you that money that you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love is that through your artistry, you can see the genuine love that you have for what you do. You enjoy making these hits, and they become hits because of how much you show you love them when you're recording and when you out here performing these songs. You know what I'm saying? And your stage presence is different too. You know what I mean? Like it's different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a mellow. Somebody could come out there and do some turn up type shit on some NBA YoungBoy shit, and then right after that, you come and switch up the whole mode. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that that's crazy. And I've always loved that because I used to do that with, and I still do. Like when I see everybody doing a turn up song, I'll do an inspirational song because I feel like everybody's already turned up. Right. So at some point when you hear turn up, your ears begin to turn off. You stop listening to what people are saying. At this point, you're just trying to turn up. But when somebody actually gets up there and spit, I used to go out there and be like, damn, nobody's feeling this shit. But it wasn't that they wasn't feeling it. People started listening. Right. And when people listening, they not.
It's a different octave. It's a different
sense.
It's a different sense. And I feel like that's what's important. It's okay, for us, we're an artist, right? I also consider it as we're an author. You know what I mean? So what we're initiating in a song, my stage presence came a very long way. I have choked up on stage. Mind you, if I'm coming to shows and I'm performing a cappella poetry, you think I didn't get stopped up, choke on stage full out? Man, I've had those lows. Yeah. But I feel like the more that I started gaining within myself and just making sure, locking in with my audience, when you do it with with passion, you know what I mean? And you're not just trying to do it just because you want to do it. Now I'm doing it because this is what I am. This is what I breathe, you know?
Right.
I feel like it makes it a lot easier, for sure.
So what's one of the most, what would you say as an artist, what's like one of the best moments that you've had where you say, I know you have a couple of them, but like what's like one of the ones that you would be like, I'll never forget that? Like something maybe a fan came up and said to you or somebody that, and you like, damn, that's crazy. Like, thank you.
I could definitely say that I've had a few. I remember this one girl that I met, her dad had just passed away. And one of the songs I was performing was about domestic violence, and she had witnessed her dad, you know, abuse her mom. And when she heard my song, she like that was her first time beginning to be able to think about what her dad was going through when she was doing that, when he was doing those things, you know. And that was a huge blessing to be a part of a journey like that, because I know what forgiveness takes, and I know that you have to break down a lot of walls to do that. And to know that my song and my influence had helped another individual, like I won with that track. I don't care how many people have listened to it. I don't care who knows it. I already won with that song. So that was definitely one big one. But when I opened up for Chris Calico, man, that was huge. Like my dad was a huge like Tech Nine fan. So like growing up with all of them, like it was.
And that was at the Paper Tiger, right?
At Paper Tiger, yeah. So when I called my dad and to let him know, like, hey, I'm opening up for him, it was kind of one of those things where my dad was now like, oh, she doing what she says she's gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
And I had fans come out from El Paso.
Oh, that's crazy.
For that one.
That's dope.
So yeah, this girl came up, took a picture with me from El Paso. I met Dizzy Wright. I had a very humble conversation with Dizzy Wright.
That's my dog. Yeah, I like Dizzy.
Yeah, he's so
like
humble, man. And I got to be able to talk to him. So I think that was another win.
Yeah, that's what's up. I love that. I love that. And see, those stories are so dope because you'll forever have those and forever be able to tell those stories that'll inspire other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta ask you this, like, cause I have two daughters, so I always wonder this, like, if they get interested in music. So if your son comes to you one day, say, Mom, I want to do music, cause he's inspired by what you've done. You know what I'm saying? What's your approach on that? Will you be like, will you try to guide them?
So I think that with us naturally already being around music, they have no choice but to be around it, you know? And I've noticed that in my son. Like my son's already made 2 songs.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like when I first got my own setup, I had like, he was the first person I recorded, and he's in pocket, bro. Like, I gotta show you these songs. So it was like, I think as a mother and as a father, whatever you're doing is already influenced, and then naturally. So I think preparing myself for that moment is the now steps. You know what I mean? He's already seen me do it. My sons came to shows with me. He's been on live podcasts with me. Yeah. You know, I don't like to hide that hand. It's kind of just being around him. But if he does decide to pick that up, I'll be glad, you know what I mean? Because I got a little foot traction in this lane.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to my daughter Aria too, because she told me, I showed her one of your clips of when you was performing, and she said, you do a song with her, you gonna win. And if anybody know my daughter Aria, she real like smart. So that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But that's dope, man. I see a lot. I see you doing a lot, you know what I'm saying, for the community. I see you giving people that are coming up, you know, opportunities. I see you. Are you still are you still planning to put on some shows and, you know what I mean, some stuff? Because I know you got some shit cooking up for 2025. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, no, most definitely. If you know, I would throw local tap-in markets. So I would have like 20-plus vendors. Live artists would come and perform as well. So we're going to be bringing back the local tap-in market. Definitely, I'm going to be working with Recess with that one. So yeah, I was able to lock in with them. But I definitely have major things coming. Just in general, I feel like there's so many people, like dope people around us. So I feel like the people keep me working. Like when it comes to like even this, you know what I mean? Like the more that we branch out, the more that we do, more is to come, for sure.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm definitely excited to see you win. What's your goal? What's your lane for your music? You know what I'm saying? When I think about the shit that you're making right now, I'm thinking timeless music.
Right.
You know what I mean? What category would you put yourself as far as music go?
So I couldn't really describe the specific category that I would want to be in, but mainly just like what the essence of my music is. Like I push to inspire. I push to motivate. Like I know for me as a listener, I'm not just listening to something and like if I don't like get that urge to like, you know what I mean? As simple as a head nod, I'm not really feeling it. So I feel like timeless music is definitely something that I'm like really pushing for. But just good feel music, like music that makes you feel good. You know, like back in the 80s and like my mama is huge. Like when I go out with my mama, you know what I mean? She's having a blast. You listen to her playlist, like she's just living it. You know what I mean? Like groovy and your body can't like help but to move. So I have like definitely all different types. That's why it's hard to put me in a category, especially with this new stuff that I have coming on. Like I've made like 60 feels, like slow type, like grab your partner and dance. Like I've made some pop stuff. So yeah, I definitely can't wait. My bag is deeper than y'all.
You seem like too you open to make music with different genres, all
different
that type
people,
of stuff too.
Different cultures. Like I've always pictured going like. I was really big on, like, in high school, we did a lot of, like, language and just history. Like, I feel like I just want to learn so many different cultures to be able to interpret, like, because that's what we are as humanity. The more we learn, the more that we embrace, you know what I mean? The stronger that, like, our intuition becomes. Yeah. So I have different people, like, friends that are different, just have different cultures, have different ways of speaking, different ways of living, like, and I feel like that's what my music I want to do for me as well. You know what I mean? Bring me to other sides of the world. Like,
I feel like too, you have a strong, like when people meet you, they want to follow. You know what I'm saying? They want to be, you know, engaged in what you have going on. Is there other endeavors that you feel like that you would want to be into? You know, that music will be the name of that, of course. Of course, we'll recognize you from music, but would it be something else that you want to get into? That music can help with that?
So I'm already invested in quite a few things, you know what I mean? Because like I said earlier, when it comes to music, you got to play with this. Like you can't just come to this industry without a bag, you know what I mean? Like it's just not going to work like that, especially to take us to the degree that we want to. So like right now, like I said, like I started off with boba. So when it comes to the food industry, I've owned a cafe. I've ran those types of businesses, and really community work, like a lot of nonprofit organizations that I've been able to like really just speak with and sit down, like it's to be able to help, you know what I mean? But all of that comes with the back end of like entrepreneurship. Like I definitely have crypto, you know what I mean? That Ethereum is, you know,
that shit is so hard to learn too.
It is.
That shit is like,
but
you gotta
just
have
putting
patience.
yourself around the right people, you know what I mean? I have people around me who talk about it like daily, and it just kind of you just start to learn, you know. That's why it's like having different people. But I see a lot for myself as far as like what I'm doing initially. Like my family does my brother's a realtor. Okay. So they've already been able to buy 22 acres, and they're dropping trailer parks in a whole community. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah, so big things are happening for them too. Like my brother, we come from the same thing. So winning is in our nature from this point out. We took enough. You know what I mean?
Now I know we talk about the questions. You know what I'm saying? Do you get the newer fans and the people that ask you maybe something you said in your songs? Do you get like those personal questions? Do you get that type of shit?
Yeah.
Because I've gotten them and I'm like, I left it in the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I feel like when usually I try to be empathetic when somebody comes at me asking, you know what I mean, wanting to know more, dig more into something, because obviously it shows that they have resemblance, like they've been through that, you know? Mm-hmm. So I try to when it calls for it, but like I said, I grew up it was hard for me to speak to people. It was hard for me to connect to people. Like I had at a very young age disconnected myself from the world and just people. So being empathetic and being able to listen, engage to people on that degree, it was hard for me. And sometimes it is. But the more that I learned to love others and love myself, like now I can create connection. So it's like when somebody asks me something that's deep and personal, I'm all ears. That's one thing you can ask all of my friends. Everybody who is my friend, they know that I am a listener. You could speak to me and I'm going to listen to you. Like, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to tell you. I'm not thinking about what I've been through and what I'm going to, you know, I'm just literally listening to you, because sometimes that's all people need, you know? They just need to be heard.
Now, one thing I love, too, is, like, you always give, like, a whole, like, explanation to different subjects that people talk about. Shout out to my dog Cal. I actually met him through you, I think. Cal, who can, Cal can. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we might have been talking about like, relationships or something, and you was giving like a woman's insight at the time. And I thought it was dope because you was like, well, this is what I think. And this is how this is how you should approach that situation. And I was like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are afraid to give their opinion but you've always been assertive with how you feel about that. And I think that that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear it in your music as well. But I also think that it's something that you can talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And in a woman's circle.
Right.
Or even with men there.
Right.
It can become a conversation very easily with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think as a woman, I've definitely, especially because like I said, I grew up with men, so controversial questions have always come to talk. You know what I mean? So I think for me, just you have to know what you believe in. You know what I mean? Because I've seen people, you can hear people when they talk, and it's like they're trying to give you the answer that you want to hear. As humans, we want to be able to feed people what they want to hear. You know what I mean? When we talk about setting yourself aside and becoming outside of the box, that's one of those things you have to learn. You have to be able to learn how to compose your own beliefs, your own thoughts, and stand on that, So when I speak to people and I get asked a question, it may not be the right answer. I might not give you the right answer. It might be far left, but based off my experiences.
but even the questions, let me tell y'all, JC will ask you a question that will have you thinking for a week. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a question in here. I think Young CEO was in here at the time, and you was in here, and we was all having a great conversation. And you asked a question. I can't remember what it was, but you asked a question, and I thought about that question for like 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
Because I was like, I gave an answer because I didn't want to leave without giving an answer, but I was like, yo, I don't even know if that answer was like.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but
it was something dope.
Something like when a female is approached. What did I say?
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something about like just getting approached as a female. Oh, I've had some bizarre things happen. You know what I mean?
What would you say one of your most bizarre things you ever heard?
Man, it's always.
She said, "Man."
I'm telling you, like it's always for me. Like off a rip, if you come at me with a price in mind, like that is the most like you selling yourself out. Like you know what I mean? Like. At least just come on, introduce yourself. Like I think that was one of the things that took me by a riff. Like
niggas just come up like, oh, I hate when
it
I
wasn't
drop
even a
30,000
guy.
like
it wasn't even a guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a lady. It was a lady. And she came over to me on some like transactional, like boom, like me and my man, like on a transaction. I was like, shorty, like, how do you even know I swing that way? Like she's like, oh, she's catching the vibe.
Yeah.
Let me type in. Look, we got questions. Thank y'all. Let's see what y'all saying. I'll do this one. Okay, so this one says, have you ever felt pressured to compromise your artistic integrity to gain more composure? I think that's a great question. Most definitely not. Like, I think that you're in a limbo constantly with opportunities and things in front of you to gain a different type of composure. Every decision, everything that I've done for my artistic value has been in the hindsight to be able to learn or digress like what I've done. You know what I mean? So it's like, even with local shows, I've done a lot of different things. I've gone to New York, I've done things, but all the opportunities, South by Southwest, everything was like a dynamic feature. Even in the entrepreneur life, this year I got into promoting, learning what the nightlife and promotion and all of that entails, because when it came to the local measure, I knew everything under the sun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I had thrown shows. I knew the spots in San Antonio, Austin, all near here. You know what I mean? It was a nightlife. And with this industry, you make money there. You know what I mean? That's where there's a whole nother bag in that atmosphere that I was not aware of. So this year, I kind of was able to dive into that and learn that. So I think when you push into moments or situations where it will change, or I think stick to your authentic self, stick to your genuine self. Because even though I've gone through different limbos and different things, like trying new things, trying this out, trying that out, and it not working, it never folded on me because I still led with who I am.
Right. No doubt. Well, JC, we definitely appreciate you coming through and chopping it up with us today and sharing, your story. But not only your story, just sharing your musical journey with us. You always do a great job at just opening up like I said earlier, and just giving us everything that we want out of your projects, out of your music. I'm very excited to see when this single drops. I thought I was capped out as far as so for those that don't know, this will be the 5th Fly Zone concert that I do. And I've done 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? This is a very big deal. It's a very incredible concert. We will be doing it at the Garden. I'll let y'all know the date. We'll be doing it at the Garden. We've sold 345 tickets. The last one, we're looking to sell 500 tickets this time because I have a school program. We give it back to the kids.
Let's sell it out.
It just, it just wouldn't feel right to me if we didn't have JC come grace that stage.
Ooh-wee.
We went through 4 concerts without having her there, and she was doing her journey. And I think that the level she's at now is incredible.
Right.
I would love to see you grace that stage. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I'm there. Sign me up. I'm there.
So we gonna talk about the date. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm actually dropping a commercial for the promotion behind the concert. But it's a great time though. It's a great time. So thank you for taking the time out today to come and see us. You know what I'm saying? And share everything. You know what I mean? We absolutely love you. We look forward to the more music that you're going to be dropping. We look forward to more things that you're going to be doing.
Right.
Keep doing your thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had JC Tranquility on Trill Talk No Cap.
Thank you, y'all. I appreciate everybody who's in the building and everybody who tapped in. Listen to me, get familiar, network, know who you know, and stick to the program. If you have a plan in mind, stick to that and don't ever switch up. I love y'all. For sure, tap in with me.